We made a bad decision last time. They're gonna come let you know about it.
Yeah.
Make some changes to it.
Right.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't know you were looking at that.
Well,
Okay. You ready? You ready? You guys ready? Steve, you good? We good? You guys ready? We good? Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our city council meeting this evening. We have a quick but exciting meeting tonight. We're full of youth, honestly. We're excited to have so many youth and their support system with them tonight. We will get started tonight with a Pledge of Allegiance by Sam Weller.
Okay, repeat after me. I pledge
Thank you, Sam. Okay, we will get right into our agenda item 4.2, City Council comments and recognitions. We do have one, but I just thought I'd look to the council, see if there's any other recognitions today. Okay. Seeing none, we'll move over to, we've invited a young man here tonight. Stryker, if you'll come on up here to the podium. There he is. Just come on up here to the podium. I want to introduce you guys tonight to Stryker Byrne. Let me tell you, I'm going to read, his mom put together a little paragraph about what he did and a little bit about Stryker. On July 7th, my son Stryker and I were walking out of Copper Mountain Middle School, and we saw a mama duck crossing the parking lot. As we watched, the mama duck crossed, and when it was the baby duck's turn, they disappeared. We ran over to the ducks and saw the baby ducks had fallen down into a drainage grate, and there was no way to retrieve them. Stryker then insisted that we call 911 to get help for these animals. After we called, Harriman, the Unified Fire, responded within minutes. The crew talked and listened to Stryker about what was going on. They let him help and be involved with rescuing the baby ducks and getting them back to Mama Duck. During this time, Stryker was also taking care of the upset Mama Duck. A Harriman animal control person soon showed up and helped get the family together. After all the babies were rescued, the person from animal control and Stryker united the babies and their Mama Duck. So that's what happened. Let me just tell you a little bit about Stryker here. Stryker is such a bright, loving, and considerate young man. He's always making sure that everyone is included in any group. He always takes care of his friends and is always making sure that everyone is happy. On a recent youth ministry trip to Montana, Stryker was often referred to as the glue man, meaning that he was the one person who could bring any group of kids together. Stryker has been mountain biking and playing lacrosse for Harriman for over 3 years now. The coaches and team often refer to him as the hype man. He is able to get a team in the mood to win no matter the circumstances. Stryker loves being a part of the Harriman community. He loves wearing his Harriman gear everywhere we go and loves telling everyone what a great city this is and how happy he is to live here. Stryker, we're proud of you and who you are, and we congratulate you for this, saving these ducks. So thank you. And Stryker, you're not done yet. We're going to take a picture with you if you'll come on up here. Again, thank you, Stryker. And I will say as an aside, thank you to UFA and their response for allowing him to be, please pass that on to your guys, that allowing him to be a part of that, from beginning to end. I know it's, talking to his mom, that's left a lasting impact on this young man, so thank you to your people too, so thank you. Okay, at this point, time for public comment. And because there's so many people here, we could have some public comments, so I will read this policy on our public comments. Audience members may bring any item to the city council's attention. Comments will be limited to 2 minutes. State law prohibits the council from acting on items that do not appear on the agenda. Public comments for this meeting will also be conducted electronically. Any person interested in addressing the council may submit a comment by emailing recorder@harriman.org or by visiting harriman.org/agendas and minutes, where there is a link to fill out an online public comment form. Your statement will be incorporated into the public record. So this time, if you have a public comment to make, feel free to step forward to the podium here and take 2 minutes.
Walking towards the microphone, you have to make a comment.
Okay, seeing no public comment, we will move on to item 6, our city council reports. With this new format, we'll go down the list. Jared, any reports tonight?
Nope.
Teddy?
Yes, I've got a couple, Mayor. So we've had a couple fun weeks with committee meetings and reports. The first one was from our sewer board that I sit on. We had some expansion projects and some projects getting funds that were set aside back in 2015 that were being pushed to new projects. Most of them are in South Jordan with some new roads developments coming in with the university campus there and some other commercial developments. We also had the opportunity to go through the whole staffing reports and run a survey data on all the districts statewide to see where we sit on employees and pay and COLA and merit raises. That was a very interesting meeting for that, and a lot of information, and it was my first one on that level, and I learned a lot. We have a lot of changes coming as our GM is going to step down really soon, and we got to keep the district running well. The other committee that met that does wonderful things for our community is our Veterans and Military Advisory Committee. They met, we discussed past events, community engagement, and how we can better engage the veteran community. We also talked about upcoming events. One that the city does really well and sponsors and helps get out sponsorships is Wreaths Around America, where we collect donations, funds, and sponsors for placing wreaths on headstones and veterans' families. It's a very, very cool thing. There's going to be a veterans survey coming out soon, giving about veterans benefits, resources, and we're going to put stuff on newsletters online, and they are going to do that. And then we had Cookies and Connections in the park in District 2 at the skate park. We had an amazing turnout for city engagement. We have people that come to our city all around the valley and beyond to skate there. So if you haven't had the opportunity to go to the skate park, it's a wonderful park, even if you don't skate. Just there's a collection of people that are just amazing throughout the state there. Lauren and I also had the opportunity to go out with about half of these people in this room and clean up the highway. Was that last Saturday? Or I think it was last Saturday. But it was, you guys have some amazing kids. And thanks to Council Member Sherry Horn to set that up and orchestrate that. And you guys, it's a long stretch of highway. Most of it's in Riverton, but we'll forgive you for that. So, but it was fun, exciting. So that's me.
Thank you, Teddy. Sherry?
Just to clarify, mostly Destiny sets it up, and then the youth determine the time. Credit where credit's due. She's an amazing advisor, and we're really grateful to have her, and super excited for the Youth Council today to take your oath of office and be here and kick off a great year. We had good meetings together so far, and I think we have some good goals set for the year, so we're excited for you. I serve on Wasatch Front Waste and Recycling District Board. We had our meeting on Monday. We will be coming to, it looks like we will be coming to the council to advertise a rate increase for garbage. We're at $17 a month right now. The likelihood is it will go up to $19.50 a month. I've received lots of different questions and concerns about that in the past. Why is Riverton so much cheaper on their garbage and things like that? There's a lot of different circumstances that dictate garbage bills. One, Transjordan Landfill, if you're a member of Transjordan Landfill, that your tipping fees are exactly half of what our tipping fees are. So every ton of garbage costs a certain amount, which goes up every year. And so so the Riverton garbage is half of that. And it's because they were part of the initial group of cities that initially started with Transjordan. So we can't get that discount. Anyway, we also offer certain services to our residents that most of them don't. And we don't subsidize that. So the $19.50 is a true cost that's being paid not to the city, but to Wasatch Front. And so we're not subsidizing with others. So it's a little bit complicated. We'll be coming to the city council. The general manager will be coming to the city council and discussing that rate increase with us and helping understand. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody knows that garbage trucks run on diesel and CNG, and I go to the pump, and I assume that most of you go to the pump, and so that really affects the cost of service, and so we're just seeing it all across the board. Same as with our wages and salary, just trying to keep drivers. It's becoming really tricky, and you can't just put anybody in a garbage truck and have them be safe. And so you have to hire good drivers, you have to hire qualified people, and it costs money, and it just continues to, everything goes up. So I will apologize, first of all, that we have to just pile it on. It seems like every time you turn around, it gets piled on. But the nice thing is that you know that your garbage is going to get picked up. And it helps with the sanitation in our communities, the cleanliness, and the health of our communities. So they're also doing a food waste program. There's a pilot program, I want to say it was Momentum, that are doing a food waste pilot program. It's up in Cottonwood Heights right now, up in that area. They've just are kind of finishing up their food waste program. There was an option between a container and a bucket. I can't imagine you'd have a use for a 30-gallon container once a week. But anyway, they've been doing a pilot on that, and we're just waiting for the results of that. And it may be something that's offered as a fee to our community if you wanted to use, like your food waste stuff that would be recycled. So anyway, look for information on that in the future. It's been kind of slow in coming, but there is a pilot running for that. The other opportunity I have is to serve on the Jordan Valley Water Conservancy District Board. I tout my horn up here all the time, and my little drum is getting probably worn out about water conservation. But we can see it, what's happening. You can see the water restrictions that are being mandated to other states currently. South of us, currently Utah's not under that from the federal level, but we have to continue to do our part on that. We just had our truth and taxation hearing. That's why I wasn't here 2 weeks ago. I was at that hearing, and so your taxes went up on your water minimal, I should say, every dollar counts, but about $7 a household. But it's important. But part of that truth and taxation process was I needed to go to each of the cities that I represent and visit with people there and help them understand. And one of the strong feedbacks I received was a concern about neighbor shaming. And I guess it was the first time I'd really heard it. So I'll share this with you and with our public as far as people were becoming concerned with the Flip Your Strip program, and neighbors were mad at other neighbors because they weren't flipping their strip and they were wasting water, and what is your problem? And I was like, oh, I didn't even know this was a concern or an issue. So I would encourage people not to neighbor shame. We all have our role to play, and we all will come to a realization of things a little bit differently. But the best thing always, I think, is to focus on your own and think about what you can personally do to conserve water, and maybe not be too worried about your neighbor. Unless he has a geyser going because the sprinkler head's popped off, great, let him know. But please be kind to one another, and let's just all continue to do our part to to conserve water. Another feedback was, why don't we do, rather than always talk about flip your strips, how, I would ask that, and maybe as a city we can put that back out again, Tammy, it's just about the rain barrel programs too. We have access to the rain barrel program, and there's other ways that you can conserve water besides just flipping your strip. So there's great resources through Jordan Valley's online site that help really educate people on the different things that we can do, to just do little parts that we can do to help conserve water so that we can continue to have water for our needs. It's the one thing that we have to have. We can go a long time without food, but you're not going a long time without water. So we really have to preserve that really finite resource and do our best to work as a community to conserve and to make best use of those. And then finally, the district, Teddy reported on District 2's Cookies in the Park, and we were just kind of going to maybe start taking turns on districts, and so hopefully District 3 will be the next. That's the district that I represent. So anybody in District 3 kind of heads up, knowing that soon we'll be advertising an opportunity to get together and just in a open house, town hall kind of time, just to get together and discuss the needs of our district and the ways that our decisions are impacting you and what we can do to do better. So I'll look forward for that opportunity. Thanks.
Thank you, Sherry. Steve?
I hope you'll allow me just a little bit of latitude in my communication about this. Last week we had was it last week, this week? They all blend together. We had our Wasatch Front Regional Council's Regional Growth Committee meeting. And they were talking about transportation priorities and connectivity around the Wasatch Front. It's generally a really informative, very interesting meeting, finding about how transportation infrastructure gets funded, how it gets prioritized, where money gets directed, those kind of things. Interestingly enough, Mayor Mendenhall serves on that, from downtown Salt Lake City serves on that. And she made a comment that started a conversation and some thinking. And this ties into Tammy from our conversation earlier about legislative priorities and principles that guide what we do. She mentioned that in downtown Salt Lake City, they have constructed the neighborhood of 15,000 units, housing units, over the past couple of years in downtown. And almost exclusively, those are studios or one-bedroom units. She mentioned that in the last year, they haven't built a single unit to have more than one bedroom, so for a family. And she pondered the question of what is the impact on the community? What is the impact on the character and identity of Salt Lake City? What does that mean when there are housing units for a lot of individuals but not for families? How does that impact the future of that city? I had some interesting back and forth with her in conversations. Interesting how many values we share despite maybe our political difference of how we might attain those values. And I would say that the question that I think is most important for our legislators to at least be considering in the things that they're prioritizing is, are they sacrificing families, communities, values, identities, heritage, all these words we talk about, in the interest of just solving a single problem? I.e., we know there's a housing issue. We know there's a shortage of housing that is attainable for low to moderate incomes and even some higher than moderate incomes in our state. And there's some real issues that we need to be addressed, but are we addressing those at the sacrifice of communities? Are we negatively impacting what makes our state and communities great? And that is the families and the way we support them and encourage the communities that we have. So I would say this, that as we look for what kind of things we're going to support as a council and the kind of priorities we have, that we make consideration of impacts on communities a big consideration on what we do, not just in terms of how they impact a single problem. So, thank you.
Thank you, Steve. I'll try to be brief. Two things. Had Council of Government on last week. The one thing from that is they have, of all the options they looked at for a homeless shelter, all the cities had to submit an location. The one that was chosen was an old county library in Mill Creek area. And they were looking for something that could house 400. This will house at most 100. So it looks like they're going to have to come up with some other options, and including flexing the other shelters this winter again. But look for that issue to come up again down the road. I don't think that'll impact us for a few years, but we're keeping an eye on that close. And then I will mention, I was invited Monday night with my wife to attend a mayor's dinner by the governor. It was really great. It was first time they've ever done anything like this. First biggest gathering of mayors outside of, the league convention, if you will. 115 mayors from across the state at the governor's mansion, just for a dinner, super laid back. And it was interesting. One of the comments was made that a third of the mayors in the country are not even allowed access to their governors. So it did mean a lot that we were allowed. We had conversation with the governor, and we did. I did invite him to come take a tour of Harriman and see the new Harriman, if you will. And he accepted that invite right there on the spot to say, yeah, I'd love to come out and see the growth, see what you guys are doing out there. And so it'll be good to get leadership from the state out here to really see what we've been doing as far as tackling all the issues. So, and then, yeah, that's all on my report tonight. Okay, with that, we will move on to the best reason we're here, the oath and office for the 2022-2023 Youth Council. And Destiny, do you want to take a minute and talk? I'll turn the time over to you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. It's an honor to be here in front of you to introduce the 34 amazing youth that we'll have serving on the Youth Council this year. I'm really excited to be able to work with them. They have, like Sherry said, they have great ideas and goals for this coming year. So with that, as I call your name, if you guys want to come up to the front, and then we'll do the oath of office. Okay, we have Rebecca Danzy and Benjamin Danzy, Sam Weller. If you guys just want to go up there. Liam O'Fikens, Lily Smith, Adam Wardle, Lauren Pelch, Chloe Stump, Joshua Didenhover, Eli Hall. I didn't see Ethan. Is Ethan here? No. Whitney Robinson, Tanner Fountain, Sunny Sokol, Natalie Southam, Kaylee Gilham, snuck up on me. Amber Olson, Alyssa Sokol, and Adeline Gilham. We have Malia Height, Kiara Sunhill Singh, Dallin Banks, Cassidy Sow, Nathan Sow, Madeline Weber, we have Urban Smith, Dylan Hagan. And I believe that's all that's here, but we have Zaidi Rojas, Ryan Rojas, Munu, and I am going to butcher her last name. How do you say it? Persambo. And then we have Gabby Apodaca, Hannah Park, Nicole Lee, and Aza Persambo. I tell you, I'll butcher their last names if I try to say them. So with that, we'll ask Jackie to come up and give the oath. I just want to do 2 rows and bring the shorter ones in front. Back, get kind of close.
For people up front. Then you have to come around the front.
Go ahead and spread out a little bit so your parents can get pictures if they want.
Right. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Are you guys ready? Raise your right hand and repeat after. I state your name. Do solemnly swear. That I will support, obey, and defend. The Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of Utah. And that I will discharge. The duties of my office. With fidelity. Congratulations.
You want to take a picture with us standing behind?
See if we can squeeze all of you in here.
Can you see Sherry? Do you need a stool?
Get the stool.
I got a tippy down.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Here, can you take half step here, right?
Oh, I'm the one you can't see. Oh.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Looks like behind Eli though. Can we sit down now? Parents don't want us in the picture. Tag me. Tie me. You're never gonna get it all. You got tagged in this one.
Right. Good group of kids, man.
Good job, guys.
Good, man.
Oh, yeah. Good, good.
I can't say enough good about these young people and what they do for this community. I think they're kind of the unheralded heroes of this community. I've already seen you at several events. Thank you for representing this city so well. Thank you for the service. We couldn't do a lot of these events without you on the Youth Council. Really, you make these events go, and truly we appreciate it. I hope you know that. We appreciate it. And we're going to do our best to recognize you even more and make sure this community knows the service that you are providing. So thank you. Parents, thank you for, they didn't get here without you as parents, so thank you. the future is bright. I know that's kind of cliche, but the youth in this community are unbelievable. So again, thank you to all for serving, and we look forward to working with you for the next year. So thank you for coming tonight. Okay.
But don't leave because it's a really
don't
short
leave.
agenda.
We'll be done fast.
Yeah, we'll be done fast. Okay. Move on to item 9, the consent agenda. Look for either a motion or any changes.
Motion to approve the consent agenda as written.
Motion by Steve,
Second.
second by Jared. Steve?
Yes.
Sherry?
Yes.
Teddy?
Yes.
Jared?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. That motion carries. Okay, that concludes our meeting this evening. Future meetings, we have canceled our joint meeting on the 31st. Next Planning Commission meeting is September 1st, 2022. Next council meeting, September 14th, 2022. We have each Monday still going on, we have the farmer's market out front here at Crane Park. And again, I encourage everybody to come out to that. We were talking to the organizers today. They're starting to get rumblings that Harriman's complaining that we don't get farmers out here, so the farmers are hesitant to come. So it's kind of the chicken and the egg, if you will. So please come out and support that farmer's market on Monday nights out here. There is produce, but we need to come support the produce that is here to be able to then reach out and get it's a tough year for the crops out there. So we've got to show that as a community we will support the existing farmers that come. So please come out Monday nights here from 5 to 9. Then any other events coming up?
Mayor, the Art Council, the youth have their plays coming up. Some of you guys might have kids participating in those events. I don't know the exact dates. I know my little does. I'm sure it's on my calendar, but
Bethany? September 22nd through the 27th. Frozen Kids and Shrek 2 for those that can't hear. So yes, we'll keep pushing that out as well too. So
awesome.
any other future? Okay, with that being said, I will look for a motion to go to closed.
It's yours. Motion to temporarily recess the city council meeting to convene in closed session for the purpose to discuss the purchase, exchange, or lease of real property as provided by Utah Code annotated section 52-4-205.
Motion by Steve,
Second.
second by Jared. Steve?
Yes.
Sherry?
Yes.
Teddy?
Yes.
Jared?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. We will move into closed. Again, thank you everybody for coming tonight. We appreciate it.
Thanks.